Welcome to our deep dive on Kylie Minogue. We're going to be looking at her Wikipedia page and talking about how she became such a global icon.
You know, it's amazing how just a simple Wikipedia entry can really give you some insights into an artist's journey.
It really is. Yeah, so Kylie Minogue, she was born on May 28, 1968 in Melbourne, Australia. And do you know, she actually had a pretty hard time making friends in school.
I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She was drawn to creative outlets from a young age, though. Sewing, violin, piano.
Interesting.
Maybe that was how she found comfort expressing herself.
That's a good point, that feeling of being a little different sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you don't quite fit in and you find comfort in expressing yourself creatively. That's a recurring theme that we see with a lot of artists.
Yeah.
And it's often that ability to channel those experiences into their art that really connects with their audience.
For sure. Yeah, and her family moved around a lot when she was young, too. And Kylie herself has said that she found it unsettling.
Wow. Yeah. I imagine instability like that when you're young.
Yeah.
It really shapes someone for sure. It could have instilled in her this kind of resilience and adaptability that we see throughout her career.
Right. And so from growing up in Melbourne to becoming this global pop icon, how did it all begin? I mean, most of us know her from Neighbors, right?
Oh, for sure.
20 million viewers for her character's wedding episode. 20 million.
That's insane. That's a cultural phenomenon for sure.
Yeah.
One of the most watched television events in Australian history.
Wow.
And that kind of early recognition, that speaks volumes about her innate charisma and that connection with audiences.
Totally. And the awards, too. 4 Logie Awards in one year, including the Gold Logie, which is like Australia's biggest TV award, right?
Renee is the Gold Logie?
Mhm.
Exactly. It's voted by the public as the most popular person on Australian television. So yeah, that was just a sign of things to come,
Yeah.
foreshadowing that global stardom that awaited her.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that her music career launched at a football club benefit concert.
Really?
Yeah, she performed the Locomotion, and well, I guess the rest is history.
Not quite. The demo that got her signed to Mushroom Records was sent specifically because of her popularity on Neighbors.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they knew she already had this massive fan base and this star power that could translate into the music world.
That's smart.
Yeah, so the producers were savvy.
Yeah, and then enter Stock Aitken Waterman, the hit-making trio of the 80s. But I remember reading about some controversy around the re-recording of the Locomotion.
That's so interesting how that tension between commercial success and artistic integrity
Yeah,
pops up so often.
yeah.
Like sometimes the producers, they prioritize what they think will sell, even if it means the artist's original vision gets a little lost in the process.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's funny because at that time, Kylie wanted to be more like Madonna, even though she was already outselling her.
The classic tale, isn't it?
Mhm.
Even when you're at the top of your game, there's still that drive to learn from those who came before you and really carve out your own unique path.
For sure. And she definitely did that. I should be so lucky, especially for you with Jason Donovan, Hand on Your Heart, Better the Devil, hit after hit. She became a pop icon practically overnight.
It's true. Those early songs, they really solidified her place in pop culture history.
Mm-hmm.
But even with all that success, Kylie wasn't content. She was ready for more creative control and a more mature sound.
Right. You can only be the girl next door for so long.
Exactly. And it seems like her relationship with Michael Hutchence, the INXS frontman, really pushed her to shed that image and embrace a bolder, more independent persona.
Yeah, and I've always thought the music video for Better the Devil, was such a turning point for her.
It really was.
Yeah.
That marked a significant shift for sure. She was more involved in the creative process, shaping her own image and sound. It was the beginning of Kylie finding her own voice.
Yeah, and speaking of finding her voice, her collaboration with Nick Cave on Where the Wild Roses Grow was such a powerful moment. Like, you could really hear that artistic growth.
Totally. It was a risk for sure, moving away from pure pop into something darker and more atmospheric.
Yeah.
But it paid off.
Yeah.
Earned critical acclaim, and it proved that she could transcend genre boundaries.
And then there's Impossible Princess, an album that's often hailed as her most personal and artistically successful work, even though it got mixed reviews at the time.
Interesting how time can change our perspective on art, huh?
Yeah.
With Impossible Princess, you can really hear Kylie pushing against the pop formula. There's a darker, more introspective tone to it.
Yeah.
And she even incorporates elements of trip-hop and electronica.
Yeah.
Pretty unexpected for a pop princess at the time.
It's crazy to think that she insisted she was still a dance pop artist despite that title.
It does kind of have an indie vibe to it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the irony of the album being retitled Kylie Minogue in the UK after Princess Diana's death.
Oh, wow.
almost like she was shedding those old titles and embracing her own name, her own artistic identity.
Right. It was a defining moment. But after Impossible Princess, she faced one of the biggest challenges of her career. Her lowest-selling album and being dropped by her record label, it could have been the end.
It could have been,
Yeah.
but instead it became a catalyst for one of the most remarkable comebacks in pop music history. And that's where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive. You know, it's amazing how Kylie never let those setbacks, actually define her.
Yeah.
Instead, she used them as fuel to reinvent herself,
Right.
to come back stronger, even more creative.
She's the ultimate comeback kid. How did she manage to pull it off? Did she
Wow.
completely change her sound or?
Well, she definitely embraced a more mature image,
Okay.
a more sensual image,
Hmm.
but without abandoning her love for dance music.
Right.
Light Years was this brilliant fusion of disco pop, even a touch of Eurotrance in there.
Oh, wow.
It really marked her triumphant return to the mainstream.
Yeah, I remember hearing it spinning around everywhere. That song just took over the airwaves.
Such a good song.
And who could forget that white hooded jumpsuit from the music video? Instantly iconic.
It became synonymous with Kylie's reinvention, a symbol of her newfound confidence and sex appeal. It's amazing how a single outfit can really capture a whole era, isn't it?
Really can. And the song's success was huge, too. It even led to her winning her first Grammy Award.
Huge. That must have been incredible validation after everything she'd been through.
Totally. Then came Fever, which became her best-selling album to date. Can't Get You Out of My Head is still such a massive dance floor anthem. Why do you think that song connected with people so strongly?
Oh, it's the production. It's so brilliant. It combines that sleek, futuristic sound of French house music with Kylie's signature pop sensibility.
Right.
It created this sound that was both sophisticated and incredibly catchy. You just can't help but move when you hear it.
It's like scientifically engineered to get stuck in your head.
Yes.
And she kept the hits coming in your eyes, Love at First Sight, Come Into My World. Those early 2000s were peak Kylie.
They were. She was unstoppable.
Yeah.
She was at the top of her game, releasing hit after hit, touring the world, becoming a true global pop icon.
And she didn't stop experimenting either. Body Language was a fascinating exploration of 80s synth pop and even had some hip hop influences.
It did, yeah. She was always pushing boundaries.
That was like she's constantly evolving, always pushing those boundaries. But then in 2005, at the height of her career, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. That must have been such a difficult time.
It was. It was a shock for everyone.
Yeah.
Here she was, this seemingly invincible pop star, facing a battle that just put everything into perspective. And, think about the impact it had beyond the music world, too.
Right.
So many people were affected by her diagnosis.
It definitely raised awareness about breast cancer, especially among younger women.
Yeah. It's been called the Kylie effect.
Wow.
Her openness about her journey, encouraged so many women to get checked and prioritize their health.
Yeah.
And when she returned to the stage with the Showgirl,
Yeah.
the homecoming tour, this was just such a powerful moment.
I can only imagine the emotions running through that arena.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible experience for both her and the fans.
Yeah.
It was a testament to her strength and resilience. She reworked her routines, made adjustments for her health, but still delivered a spectacular show. It proved that nothing could stop her.
Talk about a comeback.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring how she didn't just bounce back, but continued to evolve and thrive. Albums like Ex Aphrodite, Kiss Me Once. She was always pushing herself creatively.
And that's what sets her apart.
Oh, yeah.
She's not afraid to take risks, to try new things, to keep evolving.
Yeah.
It's how she's managed to stay relevant and popular for over 3 decades.
Wow.
It's honestly remarkable.
So we've covered her early years in Australia, the rise to stardom, the reinvention, her incredible resilience in the face of adversity, but there's still more to explore, right?
Oh, there's so much more.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on her more recent albums.
Hmm.
Her ventures into winemaking, her sold-out Las Vegas residency. There's so much more to uncover in part 3 of our Kylie Deep Dive.
It's amazing to think after all these years, she's still at the top of her game, breaking records, pushing creative boundaries. It's a lasting legacy.
Seriously. A force of nature.
Yeah.
It's interesting, how she's managed to translate her brand into different ventures, too. Like, did you know she has her own wine label?
No.
Kylie Minogue Wines.
Yeah.
You've got Rosé Prosecco.
Kylie has her own wine. That's so cool. I had no idea.
And it's been incredibly successful. Her Prosecco Rosé is actually the top-selling branded Prosecco in the UK.
Wow.
From pop icon to wine entrepreneur.
She does it all, from singing about spinning around to sipping on Prosecco. It's amazing how she keeps reinventing herself.
Wow.
Speaking of which, in 2018, she released Golden, an album with a lot of country influences. That was a pretty bold move, wasn't it?
It was. It definitely showcased her willingness to evolve and experiment with new sounds.
Yeah.
I think some critics maybe question whether it was a successful blend of genres or not, but I think for me it really demonstrated her fearlessness as an artist.
Yeah.
Always pushing herself creatively.
Yeah, and then during the pandemic, she dropped Disco, which felt like the perfect antidote to all the doom and gloom,
Totally.
pure joy and escapism.
And Disco hitting #1 made her the only female artist to top the UK album charts in 5 consecutive decades.
Wow.
That is a testament to her staying power and her ability to connect with audiences across generations.
5 decades! That's unheard of!
I know, it's amazing.
And she hasn't slowed down since Tension in 2023. Tension 2 just this year. It's clear she's still got that creative spark.
She's still going strong. And let's not forget about her sold-out Las Vegas residency.
Right.
The ultimate culmination of her career, a celebration of everything she's achieved as a global entertainer.
From soap opera star to Las Vegas headliner, it's an incredible journey. And, she recently won the Global Icon Award at the Brit Awards and even performed with Madonna on her Celebration tour.
It's like she's come full circle, From aspiring to be like Madonna to sharing the stage with her.
Yeah.
She's a true symbol of resilience, longevity, and reinvention in the music world.
So what do you think it is about Kylie that has captivated audiences for so long? Why do we love her so much?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it's a combination of factors. She's undeniably talented, a gifted vocalist, a captivating performer. She's always pushing those creative boundaries.
Right.
But I think it goes beyond that, too. She's relatable. She's never been afraid to show her vulnerability, her human side.
Yeah.
And I think that resonates with people.
Yeah, you can see it in her connection with her fans, too. They adore her.
They do.
And she seems genuinely appreciative of their support. There's this mutual love and respect that's really special.
Absolutely. And her enduring optimism, that joy and escapism that she brings through her music, it's infectious.
It is.
It lifts you up and makes you feel good.
It's hard not to smile when you hear a Kylie song.
I know exactly. Kylie has proven that you can be both a pop icon and a genuinely down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
And I think that combination is incredibly powerful. She's an inspiration to artists and to all of us, really.
Well said. I think we've successfully completed our deep dive into the world of Kylie Minogue.
I think so.
It's been a blast exploring her career and uncovering the reasons behind her enduring success.
Me too.
I'm curious what stood out to you the most during our exploration.
Oh, gosh, that's a tough one. I think for me, honestly, it's just her resilience. She's faced so many challenges, both personal and professional, but she always comes back stronger, more creative.
Right.
It's a reminder that we can all overcome adversity and achieve our dreams.
Well said.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, I guess I'd ask, what's your favorite Kylie era and why does it resonate with you?
Ooh, good question.
Let us know on social media.
Yeah, let us know.
And be sure to check out Kylie's music if you haven't already. There's a Kylie song for every mood, every occasion, every stage of life. Until next time, keep on spinning.